People ask me all the time, Mike, I've already gotten started. I'm crushing it in real estate, but I want more passive income. My guest today is going to just bring the heat as a computer engineer, as information technology, doing flips on HDV TV, all the way into multifamily syndication. I'm gonna interview him today, so you're not gonna want to miss this. Stick around.
So the big question is this: how can we achieve financial freedom, quit the 9 to 5, and live a mighty life? That is the question. And this show will give you the answer. You are listening to The Mighty Mike Show with your host, Mighty Mike Reed.
Welcome, my wonderful and esteemed guest, Mr. Nirmal Ramalingam. I think I got it.
Close enough.
How you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good. Happy to be here. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, of course, of course. Anytime I can see somebody online that is just crushing it. I mean, this is our first time meeting, so this is why it's kind of cool because you get to know each other right here live online, and so hopefully you're a cool person.
We'll find out here pretty soon.
So let's kind of dive in right into the content of like tell us a little bit about yourself and about your personal life a little bit.
So yeah, I'm originally from India. I moved to this country about 25 years ago. I have a master's in computers. Been doing that for 15 plus years. In that journey, what I realized was that there was in the corporate side of things, there was this glass ceiling that I couldn't break, whatever that reason might be. The reasons are irrelevant here, but I just couldn't do it. So that's when I started. Okay, I mean, single income is not going to cut it. I need some, side hustle. So this started as a side hustle, right? So bought some rentals. I live in Denver. I bought some, rentals. It was good. Okay. Then I thought, okay, next step, let's do like fix and flips. So I started doing fix and flips. They have been featured on HGTV. So that was going good. But the problem was that is not a scalable business. You're always chasing the next deal. And for the amount of effort and money you put in, the risk you take, the return is okay at best. One bad if you had to list it through the holidays, you can't sell it. There's other problems beyond your control that kind of start my progress. Then I started thinking about how do I scale this business, and then that's when I figured out about multifamily, did some more research on it, joined a mastermind group, and here I am doing mostly multifamily deals these days.
That is so cool. Like, there's a couple questions I want to pull out of there right away. Right? Is how do you go from being a computer? I know you wanted a side hustle, but was the side hustle like, you know what? I'm gonna do carpentry work. I'm gonna like go flip house. I'm gonna go. Maybe it's like the frustration. You want to bang cabinets and break things. And
No, I didn't do any of the work. That's I am not a hands-on person. My fingers are made to write code, not break break anything.
That's funny.
No, I did try my hand in other businesses. I tried a little bit of doing consulting work, hiring consultants for software jobs. I've tried other stuff, and when I stumbled into real estate, again, it was through friends and, heard about that. I thought, okay, the consulting business did not go too far. So I thought, okay, maybe I need a pivot here. And I gave my shot at real estate, and that actually picked up much faster than I expected it to pick up. And I like doing it as well. So that's the other component of it, right? I quickly understood the ins and outs of how to do things, finances, the market conditions, loans. There are too many moving parts, but those kind of fit into my analytical side of things. I try to be more analytical in my deals, and given my background, obviously, and that helped as well. So it's a combination of timing and other failures, and
Mhm.
it's a learning process, and it kind of worked out.
Well, I think, just the last question I had about that, because I have 100 other things I'm thinking about now. Um, but on, HGTV, how did that come about?
I don't know. They just contacted me. They said, "Hey, I saw your flip listed on the market. It looks really nice. It show up well on TV. And do you want to be?" Like, hell yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I say
Yeah,
that?
heck yeah. Like, that's actually like a dream, because for anybody who's, like, scaling a business where they're gonna teach real estate and stuff like that, that's great. Get an HGTV like the triple digit flip and all these guys, they,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't venture too much into that career. Even though it's nice to give that boost. I have used that as a pitch to my, to further my business.
yeah,
But I didn't, dive deep into that. That's not my forte. My forte is, making sure the deals work.
right. Right, making that cash flow. Yeah. Get that
Correct.
money. Yeah. So now you get into multifamily. Now let's talk a little bit about that, because there's a few different things here. So first of all, right now, the way things are going, a lot of people are saying, well, real estate, don't get in real estate. Like, a lot of the mortgage officers that I know are just going broke, that Lambo payment's not getting made. you know.
Tough times, yes.
So I guess what do where do you think the market's going? And we're going to kind of dive into some different directions here, but
Sure.
I'd like to know your take on it.
Okay. So nobody knows what the market is going to do, right? If I knew that, I would be, the richest person alive. I wouldn't even be talking to you, right? So nobody knows. No, nobody knows that. But what you can do is manage your risk. That
Yeah.
is that is the only thing you can do. So when it doesn't matter if it's a real estate, or you're investing in stocks, whatever your investment is.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. We only have some ideas, but there's no guarantees, right? So you manage a risk. So instead of thinking about how much money I can make, you got to think about, hey, how much money I can lose,
Yeah.
and and manage that risk. So you cut down what your risks are, and that's how I look into this. So
Mm,
risk can be managed in multiple ways. You can manage a risk by getting a good cost basis. You can manage a risk by time, how long you're going to hold these investments for. You can manage the risk by getting the right debt. uh, you can manage the risk by getting right leverage for the right debt. So
yeah.
there are other risk factors that come with investments, and if you can manage the risk in each of these categories, then whatever happens, if worst case happens, yes, it happens, but at least you don't lose your shirt in the process, right?
Yeah.
You at least
I love
come
it.
out a little bit better than a person who's not prepared or who's not managing the risk effectively. And
Yeah.
that's how I see all my investments.
That's good. I love that. That's a perfect integrator, introverted response. I love it. Yeah, I mean, one thing I've seen is just like it's such a theme that I just can't help but mention it. Normal. I look at these guys that are most successful in
Mhm.
multifamily, and these are people who are comfortable, not just comfortable. When the family's watching a movie, they are on their laptop also watching the movie, underwriting a deal, right?
Sure,
Or
sure.
going over the extra numbers just one more time to see how things are. Is that you?
True, true. I mean, yeah, yes and no. I do underwrite a lot. That's another way too, right? Even if our success rate in terms of finding a property is, less than 5%. Meaning, if I look at 100 deals, I put offers on only five or less.
Mm,
So to because the other deals just don't work. uh,
yeah,
for my criteria. It doesn't mean it doesn't work in. I
right.
should have to
Yeah.
clarify that, right? For what I am looking for what a risk I am willing to take, those deals don't work for me. They
Mm,
might work for somebody else with different risk profile, just not for me. So I
yeah.
do spend a lot of time underwriting, and then looking at properties, talking to brokers. It is a process. It is time consuming, yes. But like I said, I want to make sure the investments I get into pass the stress
Yeah.
test.
The
So
stress test, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm curious. So there's some people that their methodology is to submit a letter of intent, an LOI on
Uh-huh.
things that maybe it doesn't work for them based on the cap
Right.
rate they're offering, but you can invent your own cap rate and offer something less and
Correct. Correct.
and just try to see what happens. What do you think about
Uh-huh.
that? Is that a method?
I do that too. I do that too. Like I said, things have changed once the interest rate started moving up. The market has officially changed. I mean, everybody knows that, right? Before, like 2 3 years back, if you are, even 5% off the asking price, nobody would even talk to you. The brokers wouldn't even call you back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now you can throw these offers, 15%, 20% off
Mhm.
asking, and they still look at your deal. They're not gonna, uh,
Mhm.
be mad about it. Things have changed. So I
Yeah.
do put in a lot of offers that I feel comfortable at a price. I feel comfortable. I tell the brokers up front, hey, I know
Mhm.
this is your asking price. I'm coming in here. If you are comfortable, I'll write up an offer.
Yeah.
And having that relationship helps with the brokers as well. So these
Yeah.
relationships have built over the years. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, right? So the brokers know, hey, this guy is not just fooling around. He's serious. If he gives an
Yeah.
offer, it's worth considering, right? So
Yeah,
that
he'll
takes time.
close. When he makes an offer, that's the most important thing. Is like as long as the deal makes sense and whatever the offer is, you're gonna close. You're not gonna
Correct.
do too much retrading unless it's something obvious and
Correct.
going in and trying to figure out, hey, by the way, it looks like the roof's are old. you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
it
I,
goes
I
too.
I also give them a reason why my offer is my offer. Hey, these are the
Yeah,
things that I see with the property. These are things I see in the debt market. I get a quote from for at least a ballpark quote from a lender. So I do my due diligence before throwing out a number. It's just not random numbers I'm throwing out.
right.
So when I tell the brokers, hey, I'm coming here because of these reasons, and they understand that, they know that
Mhm.
it's not. I mean, it's not a secret, right? I mean, they,
Yeah,
they know.
yeah. I'm trying to buy the property. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So let's kind of transition into some of the things struggles as an investor, and we can combine that with the idea because I know a lot of people that want to get started. Maybe they are computer engineers. They are
Uh-huh.
doing different things. There's so many different things, right? Maybe they're working at a
Right.
gas station, right? But they actually know a lot of people. They're very social, this kind of thing.
Sure.
And they actually, I know people like this. They have a lot of the skills necessary to network and potentially build an empire, but their mindset is still stuck in this. My parents are beat me when I was a kid, and I'm working at a gas station. And that's as high as I can go. What is your experience with that?
I think you answered your own question. It is all in the mindset. Believe me, I would not have, if you told me 5 years back or 6 years back, hey, you're going to be buying multi-million-dollar properties, I would have laughed at your face. Uh, you
Really?
know, yeah, yeah. So things, it's all in your head. It's how you perceive yourself.
Yeah,
Um, a lot of these masterminds that I mentioned earlier, that's what they teach about,
yeah,
finding deals, finding money. There are other, factors in it, but all those don't matter if your head is not in the right place. If
yeah,
you think you cannot do it, you cannot do it. If
yeah,
you think if you think you can do it, or if you think you cannot do it, you're right.
yeah,
Right? That's
yeah.
what somebody said, right? I mean, it's a quote
Somebody,
borrowing from
somebody
someone.
important.
Yeah, somebody
I think it
said
was
that.
Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, yeah, could be. It's very true. I have realized
Yeah,
that in my life as well. Um, I took it slowly. I took it step by step, but it does not matter. You can do it. It just takes more effort, more time. I put in a lot of work. I used to, like, I had to used to have my 9 to 5, and then I used to do this all after that. I would put in 10 12 hours a week. 60 to 70 hours a week of work. It's not magic. You
mm,
have to put in the hard work, but if you put in the work, um, results will follow.
yeah. So you mentioned some masterminds. I'm a part of a lot of different masterminds,
Sure.
and some of them, some of them are so. like like half the program is mindset. And if you already have mindset, you're like, okay, yeah, got to have my head
Correct.
Tony
Correct.
Robbins and and self affirmations. But then when you get into the meat and potatoes of things, that's where
Mhm.
people actually that's what they want to hear. But it's funny
Uh-huh.
because maybe your mindset isn't right. A recent mastermind I signed up for sub two. It's like a
Right.
residential flipping.
Uh-huh.
Well, I actually was like, you know what? I'm just going to go through the mindset portion this time and see. And there actually was things that I needed work on. There were. It was like I knew I could do it. I knew I could do real estate. I've
Sure.
always been good with that. But well, I've risen to that, right? But this whole idea of like seeing even bigger, like maybe you could have this coaching program, maybe you could have this, all these things and actually buy a yacht. And so I was like, you know what? I put a I put a Lambo I can't even fit in on my desktop screensaver. You know what I mean? Like it's mindset. So
Correct.
love
Correct.
it.
No, it's mindset. It is definitely, I would say, a big portion of it is the mindset. Other things, results, worrying about results. Hey, will I get rich? Will I get buy a Lambo? That's step three, four, five,
Yeah,
whatever that is. Step
yeah,
one is for you to believe in yourself and make sure that you are mentally challenging yourself first. Once you
yeah.
do that, the next step becomes a little easier. Is raising money easy? No. Is finding
Mhm.
deals easy? No. But the hardest part is getting yourself ready. If you get yourself
Yeah,
ready, then the rest will be relatively
yeah.
easier.
It's so true because you go to conferences. Like I have a
Right.
marketing company on the side. Another thing I do, and we go to the conferences and we do a booth, right? Well,
Uh-huh.
there was a lot in the beginning. I remember getting up there. You had because you are a paid sponsor, you could get up there and speak and like for a few minutes and say, "Hey, this
Sure.
is what we do." And at first, I would get up there and just did what everyone else did. Yeah, my name is Mike. We have a booth over there. It's great. And then what I started doing is like giving little mini webinar scripts, like the
Uh,
perfect webinar script from Russell Brunson, and getting out there and like, you probably don't have a website. You probably don't really want much business. But if you did, you'd have a website, and this is how we do it. And go see me at the booth to win, that free curved monitor over there, because I know the only way I'm going to get them is to get them at my booth and to
correct.
get to have that conversation. And so I'd love to talk to you about capital raising,
Uh-huh.
because before we get into capital raising, actually, what is the actual tangible thing to start doing? Do you recommend going and getting a coach right away, or should you start cold calling multifamily homeowners or brokers? Like, what do you suggest how to get started in real estate?
You're talking about multifamily?
Actually, really any kind, because you got into flips and you were
Right.
successful at it. So
Well, I did that by myself. I had no experience in real estate when I started it. Zero. I didn't even know. I don't know. They would talk about floorboards. I was like, "What the hell is that?" It's like talking about joist. I'm like, "What are you even talking about?" Right? So I had no zero interest when I mean zero knowledge about it when I started. But you learn as you go. You learn as you go. Again, that's comes with that mindset, right? I just held my breath and jumped into the deep end of the pool. I
yeah,
somehow spam out, but it happened initially. Even single family is a little bit less complicated, I should say, than multifamily. There's too many moving parts in multifamily.
right.
But once you understand the single family game, it kind of slowly, it's like graduating, right? You go first grade, second grade, you keep going up. Um, for multifamily, the coaching, there's like so many of them. They're not cheap to get in. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But are they good? Are they bad? It's a so it's how you use it. They
Yeah.
provide the platform for you to learn, to meet other people, to find your partners, to get educated. They have all the information. I didn't know what a cap rate was when I started
Mhm.
multifamily. Things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You can learn. It's how you use it. Is it good or bad? I can't. It's completely an individual experience. There are people who pay thousands and thousands of dollars to this mastermind and never show up. They have never done a deal. And there are people who show up there and have scaled from 0 to 100 million in less than a year. I've actually seen people do it. Young kids, their 20s, they have 50 million worth of assets under management.
Mm,
So it goes either way.
yeah.
Again, it comes to a
Yeah.
mindset. You come in with the right mindset, you come in with a plan. If you want to join these masterminds, it will help you. They do help. How much do they help? Are they the best, perfect? No. It's again, what are you willing to do, right?
Right.
uh, and
I
then,
think
yeah.
I think that's great. When it comes to once you fix your mindset, and and I'd say too, like a lot of people are like, well, how you fix your mindset? It's like go to Tony Robbins event, go, you know, go get motivated a little bit, but also like get some hard truth or whatever it is you're struggling with, right? And
Correct.
then find a mentor because it just speeds up your that's what I believe is it speeds up the learning curve. You don't have to learn by the pain of not knowing what a not knowing what a baseboard is probably isn't that big of a deal, but once you
Correct.
start getting if you don't know what a tankless water heater is, and you buy a house and you're like, where's the water heater, let me put in a new one. Yeah, or whatever, because there's no tank. Like, you got to know a little bit, right? And so
Sure, sure.
having that learning curve it will help you every single time, whether it was like with my health and weight loss, whether it was just starting
Correct.
a marketing company. I joined the inner circle to learn marketing for with Russell Brunson, like all these different things. But what would you say? What are your biggest thoughts on the barriers to entry?
Oh, barriers to entry is yourself. You are the first barrier to entry. I know we keep repeating ourselves, right? But there is the actual barrier is there's nothing. There's no barriers. If you want to see barriers, I could list out 100 barriers. If you don't want to,
Yeah,
there's nothing. But the main thing is you have to willing to put the hard work in, talk to people. There's a lot of I am not a I wouldn't call myself a social person, but I had to come out of my comfort zone, talk to people. I
mhm,
met my partners in these masterminds that I mentioned. It was not easy, right? I had to come out of my shell as well. So it's a part of self improvement. Plays a big role. You have to be in uncomfortable situations, talk to brokers about, even if you don't know much. I am pretty I try to be as honest as possible to people I talk. Hey, I am new. I know only X. I've done only single
mhm,
family, whatever that is. I tell them up front. And people sometimes think, hey, if I tell them, they were not going to talk to me. No, people are actually nice.
mhm,
They will try to help you, whoever that it might be. You meet the people
mhm.
on the mastermind, or if you know someone who has already done this, and if you're open about that, they actually help you. It is about having that conversation. I try to bring in that conversation into whenever I meet people, even if it's like friends or family these days. I talk about real estate off and on. It's not the
Mhm.
only thing I talk about, but that's something I throw out. And then they know somebody, they have people who want to invest.
Yeah,
Things progress that way. But the idea is you put yourself out there first. Get out of your
yeah.
comfort zone. Don't worry about what other people is going to think. Hey, this guy is what he's nuts. He
Mhm.
always talks about real estate. Why would you care about what they think? You try
That's
to
how
be.
it is. That's how it is, man. You go to, like, every relationship I get into, it's like, "Can we just have one meal where we don't talk about marketing or real estate?" I'm like, "Well, what are we gonna talk about then?" I'm like,
I know.
Why am I even here? Like, what are we doing here?"
What are we
It's
doing here? No, it's also, once you start doing that, you attract the right kind of people.
Yeah,
Then they know, hey, this guy's interested in real estate. I'm interested in real estate.
yeah,
Okay, that'll be a good conversation to have. But it doesn't have to be that way. What I was trying to say is that you have to come out of your shell, out of your comfort zone,
yeah,
and then that is the biggest barrier I see to
yeah,
answer your question. uh, Once you come out of that and you meet people, they will help you navigate these waters. How do I raise money? How do I find deals? You'll eventually learn all that as you meet more and more people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you say that because a lot of the conferences I went to, whether Rod Cleve or Jake and Gino, these
Sure.
different guys,
Uh-huh.
I remember going and not knowing a single person.
Correct.
And it was crazy because it seemed like everyone there knew somebody. They were all like, "Oh yeah, ha, ha, ha." They're all best friends." And I'm just like, I feel like I got invited to a party in high school and then the person left and the person who invited me left, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I go so but as a marketer, like there's certain tools you could use that are really helpful. You just in your mind, again, mindset, I'm the man to meet here. So now when I'm walking through the halls, like,
Correct.
I don't think I've met you yet. I don't think I've
Yeah.
met you yet. Like, oh, you didn't get an opportunity to meet me yet, kind of thing. But you're like, and so you just go up to everyone like that. Don't just hand out cards, right? Get
Correct.
other people's cards, if anything, if nothing else, and then get those connections in people's phone numbers. What's your experience with connecting, and how important is networking in real estate?
Yeah, your network is your net worth, they say, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's even if it's not 100% true, it is partially true. It's definitely true. Like you said, yes, I go to these events. When I first went out to these events, right? Yeah, I knew no one,
yeah,
and one thing I did realize is that these people are actually nice. Once you introduce
yep,
yourself, you can have a conversation. It doesn't have to be about anything at all.
yeah,
These people are open to having a conversation. That's the thing about these conferences, is that everybody is there to make new friends or new partners
yeah.
or new deal, whatever that is, right? So everybody is, they don't have like a barrier that they don't want to talk to you, right? It's
Hmm.
not like high school party where nobody wants to talk
It's
to
not
you
a
or
doctor
do it.
conference,
Correct,
a
correct.
physician's conference.
Yeah, people are generally very receptive to meeting new people, so that helps.
Yeah,
So just go introduce yourself, and people are actually nice. They will definitely help you. Like I said,
good.
I met my partners in these events, right?
Mhm.
So it's following up after the event, see if we have common ground, and then things will progress from there. The idea
Yeah.
is, you go and introduce yourself. You want something, you go get it.
Yeah, I love that. You go after it. So the one thing about multifamily that's different than flipping that I noticed is, as a realtor, you could almost just be a flipper on the side, have a contractor doing deals,
Correct.
do all these different creative ways, right? But with multifamily, because there's so many moving parts and so many things you have to do, like, I recently just this year actually got on a team as the marketer, as the marketing person that can do the webinars and things like that. So I'm doing capital raising and stuff as well.
Correct.
And but these other people do things that I hate doing, like underwriting.
Correct.
Like, the one other guy, Daniel, on our team, he loves it. He's like, deal's not gonna work. And I'm like, it'll probably work. Like, let's just call him up and try to negotiate a deal, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny because we get this clash sometimes, but it's also cool because that's how we complement each other. You know what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct.
Like
Correct.
the
So the
logical
biggest,
side
yeah,
versus the visionary side.
yeah, the biggest difference between a single family and the multifamily is the multifamily side of things is a team sport. Even let's say I have $1 million lying around, I don't want to go buy a multifamily because it's just so much work. I just can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
Starting from finding the deal, underwriting, like you mentioned,
Hmm.
doing the due diligence, even after you get your contract, finding the right debt, finding the right people to fix a place if it needs fixing, managing the property managers, the asset management piece of it. So there's so many pieces there,
Hmm.
that even if I had the money, I would not do it. That's when your partners come into play. This is a very much a team sport. Single
Yeah.
flicks and flips, you can do it by yourself. Like you said, it's a side
Yeah.
hustle. You can do it yourself. But multifamily, you definitely need partners, and you need the right partners, and that's where the things we mentioned before, right? Mastermind conferences come into play. So it's definitely finding good partners. That would be a big part of your multifamily journey, is finding the right partners who can come in with you, and like you said, complement on your skills. You're good
Hmm.
at finding deals. Find a person who is good at raising capital, somebody who likes to
Hmm.
asset manage.
Hmm.
I've done all pieces of it. I have certain things I like, I don't like, but it's sharing work really really helps you move forward.
Yeah. So did you start with a few people and then move to I've always wondered that. You see like a Jake and Gino, it's like they're married at the hip, you know? Did
Yeah.
you did, you know, did you ever would you ever did you are you with your original team or did you like move to a new
um,
team?
there has been some changes, but there are a few people from original team still there. We just, like I said, we just did their deal a few weeks back. So yeah, the team is intact. It's an evolving. Everything evolves, right? You're still meeting someone new, but
Yeah.
evolution takes place. Some people fall off, some people join, but eventually you will find your core group, and
Yeah.
go from there.
Do
It
you
will
guys
happen naturally.
do you guys start like an LLC and then all the deals that you work go through that, or how do you guys do that? And then
But
also like is there a certain level of expectation for work that's going to be put
correct,
in, right? Because I feel
correct.
like I love to network with everybody. I'll just bring in a join my team. You know what I mean? And then it's like they do nothing. Am I really going to share a property and the equity in something with someone who didn't show up? You know?
Correct. That's what you discuss up front, right? There are certain things you need to discuss up front with your partners. Sharing of, I mean, this is not a joke, right? We are playing with, millions
Yeah.
of money, and we are having investors we need to answer to. So it's not a joke. Jokes apart, you find a guy who we can joke with, but when it comes to work, it's serious
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
So you talk up front, hey, you do this, and you keep everyone accountable. We have weekly meetings. We make sure that everybody is meeting their responsibilities as well. We talk about the problems we face. So it's a team sport, and we try to keep each other accountable.
That's good. That's what I was hoping to hear, you know. And then if certain people they start a job or they start doing something else and they're just not showing up, it's like, hey,
Correct.
you know, we're gonna need to find someone else to do what you're doing if you're not gonna step up, right?
Correct, correct. That's finding the right person always helps. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Having if you are mutually, you talk to a person, they seem excited, they want to do this. It's a good sign at least that they will stick around and
Mhm.
not fall off the face.
Yeah, and then also that there's forward progress, right? If you have a team that's just not doing anything and they're never gonna get equity, they're never gonna get a payout, they're never gonna get anything,
Correct,
like, why would they stick around, right?
correct, correct,
Yeah.
correct. As long as everybody's happy in the team, there's no set rules, right? So when you have in a team, how you split the GP equity is up to you. As long
Mm,
as everybody in the team is happy, it's
mhm.
good.
That's good. Well, listen, this was a master class in real estate investing. Let's move on to capital raising because this is the thing. Once you figure it out, right? This is
Uh-huh.
what I've figured. This is the level where I'm at. I'm just starting at this though. It's like you
Sure.
got your team, you understand how to find deals, you understand how to get your LOI accepted. Now, going out and capital raising. This is something that you're great at, and it's something you're working on now. So
Right.
and you have an offering as well that we can talk about as well.
So yeah, we are raising for a deal here in Colorado, but the idea of capital raising is capital raising is a full-time job in itself.
Yeah.
You need to have constant contacts with your investors, trying to find the right investors. So it is a process. Again, that's where the team comes in, right? If you don't like
Yeah.
capital raising, you just don't. You still have to raise. The thing about capital raising is everybody in the team has to raise capital, but there's usually someone who is more experienced in raising capital. Raising capital, initially you start out the word of mouth, right? You start with your inner circle, friends and family. You talk
Right.
to them about how you are always doing something in real estate, and people
I
understand,
have
okay,
some
this
knives I wanna sell you.
guy. No, it's not about trying to sell something. It's about trying to show them what you're doing initially. the
Mm,
the main thing about capital raising is you're not asking anybody for money. You are providing an opportunity to invest.
mm,
So you are telling the other person, hey, you invest with me, you make money, x amount of money in x amount of time. That is what you're offering. You are not offering, hey, give me some money so I can do this deal. That is not how you capital raise. That is not the reason behind capital raising either.
Yeah.
So you are trying to help the other person. When you approach a person, the first thing they ask is, what is in it for me, right? I mean, what
Yeah.
is in it for them?
Yeah.
You do a deal, you're happy, you make money. No, it's not that. The majority actually of the shares of the profits go to the limited partners,
Yeah.
the passive investors. So that is what we try to explain to our investors. Hey, if you want to diversify your portfolio, look into real estate. And if you're a high income earning person, you are busy with your family, you're busy with your work, but you have some money that you're looking to invest. Yes, stock market is a good place to invest, bonds, mutual funds, whatever you are investing, the traditional investment. But you want to diversify your portfolio. So if
Yeah.
you want to diversify your portfolio, look at this real estate opportunity. Compare it with your other investments, and see how different it is from a traditional investment.
Yeah.
Real estate is usually a good hedge against inflation. Inflation is rampant these days. That's the talk of the town, right? So in real estate is a good hedge against inflation, and things like that helps you diversify your portfolio. If uh, even if the stock market is little up and down, your real estate portfolio is doing good. So that is how we approach capital raising. And explaining to a lot of people just don't know. It's just people would like to invest, a lot of people want to invest, they just don't know how. So we
Mm.
provide the education for them to teach them, hey, this is the opportunity, this is how you invest, and this is the things you got to look out for. Things like that, we try to educate them as much as possible. Sometimes they invest with us, sometimes they don't invest with, they get the education, they invest with somebody else, that's fine. Our job is to educate these investors, and they will eventually come to us, if not this deal, the next one. So
Mhm.
that is how we approach capital raising.
Yeah, I think that you building those relationships and then following up with them. I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed who said that they had, like raised 5 million or something, and then they're ready to go close, and then they go call and like they may have 300,000. It's
Correct,
like,
correct.
so
Yeah.
how do you avoid that? What do you said staying in touch with them? Are you doing like a breakfast every week just to make sure we're still friends, or like what are you doing?
And, yeah, that's one way to do it. A lot of our investors are out of town. They don't even live in the same state that I live in
Mhm.
or where we do business in. But email reminders, phone calls, Zoom, answering questions. I talk to them about other investments. So they say, hey, I want to buy a single family home you know as an investment, or as a primary residence. What
Mm.
do I do? So I talk to them about that as well. So it's just not my own
Yeah,
business. I try to
yeah.
help them in other. So that's how I keep in touch with them. They have any questions, they call me up, or I just follow up. Hey, if you have any questions, just let me know. You don't have to invest. That's
Mhm.
always I try to. I'm not trying to twist your arm into
Yeah,
investing with me. I'm just
yeah.
trying to help you with your extra cash. That's all I'm trying to do. If you have any questions how this works, we will talk. If not, if you don't want to invest, that's fine. Once I have a deal, or next few months, we can talk again. Things have changed. Lot of things happen. There are so many people I talked to initially that they only invested later with me,
Yeah.
as well. So it takes time,
How
patience.
do you handle whether they're accredited or not? They just need to know they're accredited, or how do you know?
Oh, we teach them, tell them, hey, what is accreditation? Do you qualify? We give the requirements for accreditation. Hey, these are the requirements.
Right.
If you fall in any of those, I don't ask them how much money you have, right? Do
Yeah,
you fall in this
that's what I was
category?
saying, like, how do you ask that question? Like, "Are you accredited?" "What's that?" "How much money do you have?"
Exactly. Then I'll tell you if you're accredited or not.
Yeah.
No, we tell them requirements. Hey, these are the income requirements. These are the net worth requirements. Do you, if you fall into there, most of them do know, at least ballpark. So most, majority of the time, accredited investors know they're accredited. If you ask that
Yeah.
question,
Yeah.
if they tell you, if they ask you what is that, they're probably not accredited. But
That's good.
most people know.
So kind of last question that was really kind of that I had here that I wanted to ask was because as I'm capital raising, I noticed there's a lot of real estate investors who are like, sure, Mike, yeah, I'll invest with you. But for the most part, it's like you, like me and you, like you have a deal you're raising money for. I have a deal in Georgia I'm raising money for. So you're
Uh-huh.
not going to give me the money from your deal to put into my deal, right? So what is the focus on capital raising? Are you going after people that are like lawyers and doctors and people that you know are high income earners, or like, you don't have to give me your secret sauce, but like, what is your,
There's no secret sauce here. It's a numbers game. It's finding the right person at the right time. Timing also matters, right? They may be interested in investing, but it may not be the right time in their life. They
yeah,
are probably getting married, or
yeah,
expecting a kid. Uh, all that could happen. It's about following up.
yeah,
High net worth people are, yes, they are, they have some money that they could invest. That's a good group to target to, but you still have to widen your reach. You talk to anybody that's interested. You don't know who has money, who doesn't have money. It's not
right.
about it's about the interest. They might have millions of dollars, but they have no interest in real estate. makes
Yeah.
makes no difference, right?
Mhm.
So it's finding the right kind of person at the right time. So you have to keep following up. You
Mhm.
talk to their friends, you get to know friends of their friends, and meet people in conferences.
Yeah.
And the main thing is following up. That is the
Yeah.
biggest key here. People might be
Follow
interested,
up.
they might be really interested. They said they're interested. You think, okay, he's interested, you don't follow up, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have no idea who's interested or not. But following up really helps. And also they understand that, hey, okay, this guy is following up, he's really motivated, he's really doing this thing right. That helps to provide a platform for you to pitch as well. So
I love
um,
it.
yeah,
I
keep
love it.
keep doing that work again and again.
And then you mentioned scaling up here. So are you mean scaling up your multifamily?
Yes, I mean, we're still small potatoes compared to other people in the business, right? But scaling up, we are looking to scaling up. Scaling up, one of the ways to scale up is to find a bigger partner who you can partner with. That's one way to scale up. But we are trying to organically scale. We bought a small property, a little bit bigger next time, little bit bigger next time. We know that's one way to scale up as well. So
Mhm.
it's how you want to do it, but bringing in new partners definitely helps in that process.
Mhm. I love that because one element that I didn't realize when I first got started in multifamily was the idea that basically whatever you're going to purchase, you have to have somebody on your team that already could buy it cash. Basically, they're just not going to, you know,
Correct, correct,
you
correct.
know, which I think is so funny. It's like, hey, let me go find a rich person so I can leverage their credibility and capital without using their money
Correct.
to use the
And there are
bank's
people
money.
like that who do that. They help you. There are people who will just sign on be a guarantor on your loan
Mhm.
for a piece of equity. So
Mhm.
there are people like that. You
Yeah.
can, partner with them, and they will, help you with the debt side of things. Then
Yeah,
there are
that's one
people,
one way
yeah,
to
yeah.
scale up,
Correct,
right?
correct. One way to
Yeah.
scale up. Yeah. Like I said, that's one way to scale up. The other way to scale up is organically scale slowly, bigger and bigger properties. You will definitely have a lot of repeat investors if you follow up on your word. If you say, hey, this is the returns you're gonna get. If you do all that your work correctly, people see that and they will come back and invest with you. We have had a lot of repeat investors who believe in us. So because we showed what we
Mhm.
follow through on what we promised. Um, So that helps as well to bring in a lot of and they refer. Word of mouth is a big referral. uh,
Hmm.
I've had a lot of those investors as well because they're friends with one of our investors.
Mm.
They said, "Hey, this guy is, it's legit." That's all it takes. Some
Yeah.
people believe their friends.
People are that word of mouth is so powerful. It's like that's why I said I got some knives to sell you too, is because it seems like that's what it's all about. It's like when you first go in, if you ever work for these networking companies, they're like, make a list of everybody you know, their phone numbers next to their names, and let's start calling. And then you got a whole room of people that are like, I thought this was a job interview, and they're like, they're like
Honestly,
calling.
there's multiple ways to skin the cat. Is
Yeah,
what you are comfortable with uh, doing, but
yeah.
following up is a big thing. I like to emphasize on that.
And that's with every part of real estate too. Like if you're an agent, if you're an investor, like there's 100% effective way to never get a deal, and it's to never follow up.
You
It's
never
effective.
follow. Very
Just don't
effective for
follow up.
sure.
So, Nirmal, you just like dropped some crazy value bombs today. You just mighty flex in here is what I like to say. Just kind of like all the knowledge bombs. But how can everybody keep up with everything you got going on?
Yeah, you can. We have a website, mybluewheel.com. Yeah, you can reach me there, or my email is nirmal@mybluewheel.com. So email me. Happy to talk to you. You don't have to invest with us or anything. I'm happy to have a conversation about real estate. I like talking about real estate, so we can have a chat and go from there. We do,
Awesome.
yeah,
Thanks
we
so.
do have a deal in Colorado that we are raising money as well. So if you're interested in passively investing, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to throw your email up here because I think that would be helpful. People could shoot you an
Correct.
email for some more details on that.
It's
And
just,
then,
yep.
what was that?
Yeah, that's right. I said that's my email. Yeah.
Yeah. Now tell us, as people are marking down this email here to get more details, tell us what is your parting piece of advice for that person who wants to get started, either go from flipping to multifamily or just get started in general.
Just do it. If you keep thinking about it, you're gonna have these doubts and all these questions. There's a million things running in your head, but just do it. That's what I did. Take a just jump into the deep end of the pool. If you're motivated enough, you're willing to do the hard work, and if you're trying to get out of your shell and do what's right for you, um, things will eventually happen. Yes, it'll be slow, it'll be painful, it'll be hard. I'm not going to say this is going to be an easy cakewalk. It is going to be tough, but eventually you'll come out ahead.
Well, I appreciate you, and that is so true. Sometimes you just take those first steps, and yeah, you want to learn as much as you can because you don't want to get burned. But sometimes getting burned and going through that process is how you know things. So it's like I guess it's called wisdom, right? Like that's why the elderly, you talk to them about whatever they went through, and they can tell you like matter of factly, not like an opinion or maybe if you invest in real estate you'll make money. Like they can tell you no. First of all, hire a property management company if you're going to be in other states, right? There's certain things that are just laws you have to do. Don't try to do them. Um, don't try to break those rules, and just like trying to do your own in multifamily, things like that. So I appreciate you. If there's anything I can ever do for you, definitely reach out. I look forward to having you in the future coming on once you're, maybe we could do some deals together.
Yeah, I would love that. Hey, I'm always looking for, great partners. We can definitely talk about that. You bring a complementary skill. You're more, forward going and than I am.
Yeah.
So that really complements, some of the
Yeah.
skills needed. So yeah, definitely would love to talk more about, some of the deals we can do forward.
Yeah, you never know what comes across,
Definitely.
especially when you speak it into existence. One of my journeys, normal, is to lose weight, right? And I've lost about 120 pounds, and
Oh,
I was
wow.
pushing 500. I was up there,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
a part of it is like, what, to live that like true dream life, you have to have all these boxes checked. You have to go through it and feel good about your life and feel good about what you're doing. And if you speak it into existence, it will happen. And I used to think that
Right.
stuff was so foo-foo. I'm
I
like,
know.
get
I
out,
know.
get out. It's
I know.
true.
I know. I know. It is true. It is true. I do agree that if you want it, if you really want it, you will do it. You
Yeah.
will find the time to do it. I have so many things going on, and I still find the time to do what's more important to me. It's about your mindset again, and the will to do it.
All
Like you
right.
did.
Well,
If you wanted to lose weight, you lost weight. It's
yeah.
it's all on you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys. Well, listen, go out there, take action just like Normal did, just like I'm doing every day. You've been hanging out with 2 cool cats today. Go find 3 more. Make this your network is your net worth. You guys know I love saying that, and it becomes your network. You guys know I just launched the Mighty Meetup community. You can go to mightymeetup.com and join the free networking group. And until next time, guys, we'll see you. Thanks, Nirmal. Actually, let's do this. Let me do this. There we go. There's a QR code right there, too. Get that QR code before we go out.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Nirmal. See you next
Thank you.
time.
Awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
For more great content like this and your chance to win cash prizes each week live online, visit www.mightymikereed.com. That's www.mightymikereed.com. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite audio platform. Until next time, take care and live mighty.